So, we have our Super Bowl matchup set. We have the Kansas City Chiefs featuring Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by the immortal one, Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and featuring Playoff Lenny. So, who else is excited for the Super Bowl? I don't want to say that I did not think this type of matchup could happen, because I actually put money on Tampa Bay to win the Super Bowl when the odds were quite high. The news was just kind of dropping out that Tom Brady was considering a list of potential suitors, and the more you looked at it, the more it seemed like, especially after the extension by Tannehill was signed, that Tampa Bay would be the destination. So there were some smoke signals sent out, and before it was official, I got it in. I could have had it at 26-1. I ended up getting it at 21-1, just $50. It'll be a cool K if Tampa managed to pull through. I'm not gonna hedge, by the way. I just think this is a 50-50 game, kind of. I think it could go either way. Kansas City, they have like the powerful, unstoppable offense, but I think the Super Bowl that I get mad vibes from is the 2008 New York Giants versus Patriots. But except in this scenario, I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are more like the New York Giants, and the Kansas City Chiefs are like the New England Patriots, where the New England Patriots were fucking stomping on the competition all the way up, and Kansas City's basically done that. They're 14-2, like New England, that was their 16-0 season, and here come the wild card team that has a good pass rush, and Kansas City has a beat up O-line that the recipe to success is there. It's not there, and the patchwork job that just simply putting Tom Brady in and having him go on the fly, and he's been learning and growing and becoming better every single day he's with that team. He's becoming better, and he's becoming more fluid, and having him at the age of 43 perform better than the most 23 to 25 year old quarterbacks, it's insane. It's unlike anything I've seen before. Tom Brady's first Super Bowl with New England was in 1999. I was still in fucking grade school. Tom Brady's winning Super Bowls. I've lived fucking multiple lifetimes of an existence, and here we are, 2021, fucking how many fucking decades later, and he's still and he's still in the Super Bowl. It is absolutely insane. It is a triumph. In my mind, whether he wins right now or he doesn't. I think just what he's done this year, you cannot. It's very hard to argue that he's the single greatest team sport athlete of all time. Nobody has had this sort of success spanning fucking decades throughout their sport and staying on top of their game for as long as they did. Now, part of it is in fact because of the position that he's playing. There are guys defensively, there are guys wide receivers, there are tight ends who could probably be considered have an equal lighting for what Tom Brady did with their statistics and keeping it up over time. But honestly, not really. But part of it is you could make your arguments for them, but part of it is because of the nature of the quarterback position that you're taking. For you to get hit is an anomaly, whereas you're supposed to, like in any other position, you're probably getting hit at least once per play. Running backs like at least 5 times. But on the other side of the ledger, Mr. Mahomes has he's just knocked down the fucking door coming into the league. He didn't fucking knock. He's like, hello, is it Patrick? No, he didn't do that. He fucking stomped the door fucking right through the fucking hole and come into the league fucking guns blazing. And to think like Patrick Mahomes isn't like the next closest thing that we've seen to I know it's pretty early, but this is like 3 years. He could potentially have 3 Super Bowls. He could potentially have 3 Super Bowls if things bounce his way. So how many times are you gonna get even a great quarterback? Even a great quarterback has a hard time making 3 Super Bowls in a row. So it's about time to give Mahomes his due as well. And should be an exciting matchup. I know who I'm rooting for. I know that I can't take the hedge because unfortunately it's -3 for the Chiefs. So if I were to hedge, I would have to put up like $500 to win $900, and that's taking and that's laying 3 points. So if Kansas City wins by 1 or 2, then I just fucking lose everything. No, and betting the money line is too not worth it. So time to just ride this wave. I mean, I called it out. I was like, hey man, I think I saw the writing on the wall. I just say, hey man, if Tom Brady fucking gets in this situation, he's going to make it to the Super Bowl. And if things play out the way they should, because I'd seen that Tampa was a team that their defense was on the up and coming, and that they were really one great quarterback away from becoming a great team. And shout out to the defense. Shout out to fucking Big Shaq. Shout out to Jamel Dean. All those guys on the defensive side in Tampa, because they've really stepped it up some. They have really stepped it up, and Tampa wouldn't be in this position that they were in if their defense hadn't played out of their minds. Now, a lot of people are pumping the tires for KC's defense, saying, yeah, KC's defense is next level. Like they've been playing really good, all this and that, but I don't think you can place Kansas City's defense in the same breath as Tampa's. Okay, you just can't. Like for reasons that, okay, Tampa's defense actually was like a legit top 5 defense at stopping the run, and they weren't a complete drag against the pass. And now they're completely healthy, which is one of the major things. Whereas like before, throughout the season, they weren't necessarily healthy, so they're not slouch against the pass. Like KC's defense, you can argue is an average defense, but they are very average, and they're subjected to being exploited, especially by a guy like Tom Brady. Like if you need Tom Brady to throw the deep throws, you need him to throw the short immediate throws, you need him to throw the bubble screens, the quick outs, the dump offs. He can do all that, and it's not like we're you can just isolate something that a quarterback will be bad at and have him hang his hat on that. It's like you can't do that with Brady. you just can't. And this matchup is all about Tampa's secondary versus the quick passing and intermediate passing offense of Kansas City, and how quick they are to the tackles, and how good they are at limiting KC's big play potential. That's a key to the game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Very similar to which to the game of the New England Patriots when they were the powerhouse. Kansas City is a powerhouse to the New York Giants, and Tampa Bay is the sneaky underdog team that just railed off 2 amazing wins and is red hot right now. Take in mind, Kansas City, they lost to the LA Chargers, the hapless Chargers, coached by Anthony Lynn. Getting into this, they are beatable right now. The Buccaneers are riding a hot streak, and that's not to say that I don't think Kansas City is going to win. I'm giving reasons and justifying not taking the hedge, because I think this is closer to 50-50 than it is to, Kansas City by whatever, that's for sure. And especially, the line has been staying firm at 3. I got news for you. It's not moving anywhere. It's not fucking moving anywhere, okay? It's staying right at 3. It opened at 3.5. It went to 3. It's not fucking moving anywhere, guys. It's staying there. It's staying right there. And that, to me, plus we got a home game for Tampa for the Super Bowl. I've been on the other side of it, where I've been against Tom Brady in this scenario, and all I can say is that I want to be on Tom Brady's side, win or lose. Win or lose, I want to be on his side. And there's just something to be said about I don't even think there's a strong enough word to clarify just how amazing Tom Brady has been over the course of these past few decades. I don't even think GOAT is a strong enough word, because GOAT has been muted. Now we just call everybody GOAT who starts to perform good over a more than 2-year period, without really putting any credence into the adage greatest of all time, right? So there's Brady's the greatest ever, considering, like, you want to take it back to the days of experimental health, of where nobody knew what made anybody healthy. Where you want to take it back to those age and say, like, the guys who like really tore it up at that time were some next levels. Like it was not as like, say, Wilt Chamberlain dominating the NBA in his day is not the same level as like somebody dominating the NBA or NFL or NHL now, because everybody is at such a fucking you have to stay like sharp. You have to stay so sharp, and if you lose that sharpness for a year or two, you could be done for good. Whereas like before, fucking Babe Ruth was fucking smoking cigars before he would go step up to bat, and like you just can't. That's the one thing I don't like about this era comparison bullshit, is that it really doesn't quantify the society at the time. It just is looking at wins and losses in bare stats. For Tom Brady to do what he is doing right now at the age that he is doing against the everybody, with every informational advantage that he has, that with the physical advantage that he doesn't have anymore. And being able to perform at the level that he has is such a tribute to his mindset, to his never giving up spirit, and never accepting fate, and to always put yourself in the best position possible. That is something literally every athlete can learn from. And if you truly want to be the greatest, then you have to look at him and look at what he is doing. It is not easy for him to do what he's done, to put the type of dedication to his body that he has done. But he did it. It's not, and for everybody else, it's not different. Some people maybe a little more like slight of frame. Some people like to put on that extra 25 pounds of muscle mass. It's not gonna be easy, but ultimately will it put you in a better spot to do what you have to do over time, right? Is and taking the right steps and fucking not going off track too far. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing above and beyond what anybody else is doing. And his trainer and his training and what he's doing to the TB12 method is just exactly what he needed to do to be able to stay at the top of his game at that time, and nobody else is pushing themselves over the top. Not that I'm saying that his diet or whatever he's doing is exactly right for everybody, but it was what was right for him at the time. Required sacrifice and required dedication. While it was in the off season, he was trying to meet up with his teammates and get on rhythm, because he knew this wouldn't be a just jump and let's go, and it's going to be some sort of figuring it out on the way. And boy, did he figure it out on the way. Boy, did he figure it out. And I'm happy with my money on Tom Brady at this point. And if we lose, we lose. But I still don't think it should, that you could say, I still think you have to say he's the single greatest individual team athlete and team sport that has ever existed. Okay, and that's my football for now. I just wanted to pivot really quick to the UFC, and so we had the Conor fight over the weekend, where Poirier took out Conor McGregor after all of this hoopla and overhype. Conor finally seems to have taken down below where his ego thought it was, and got humbled a little bit. Now, nobody is going to be touching Khabib, and I do not think Khabib is coming back. I think it'll be at least 2 years. Maybe he'll come back now for his 30th fight, but that's like pending there's somebody that rises to the top of the ranks right now. Right now it's just Khabib, and there's about 5, 6, 7 guys in that division who are just trading wins and losses at this point. Now, it'd be interesting to see, is Dustin Diamond going to be gettable? Is Chandler in the future? I'm not saying Chandler should take him on right now, but in the future, after Chandler's had 1 or 2 more bouts and he wins both those, is Diamond gonna defend against him? Like, there's a lot of questions to be answered, but I don't think that we are even close to seeing like a number one clear title holder that that would interest Khabib. He's too above and beyond what anybody is at the time, and not that I'm really such a Khabib guy. I think he's good for the sport, of course, but stylistically, like, I like brawlers. I like people who go in there and try and knock each other out. I think that is, like, every now and then when you get a submission and it happens, but like, for me, like, in my watchability, I've always admired the power strikers and stuff. Like, I've never been as much into, like, the rolling around on the ground, and, like, I think, not that it's bad for the sport. I just, like, I always want to see the champion being like a knockout specialist, and I think that the way forward is to come up with some sort of adequate defense for the Dagestani techniques, and coming up with some sort of way to counter it and make sure that it stays on the feet. It'll be interesting to see what happens with this division going forward. So the next couple of fights, we got Overeem versus Volkov. That's happening next weekend, February 6th. And February 13th weekend, we're going to have UFC 258, Usman and Burns, Kron Usman and Gilbert Burns for the belt. Now that's going to be a good bout. Also, Weidman and Uriah Hall will be fighting also on that card. Then after that, we're still in February. We got Lewis Blades. UFC Fight Night. Now that will be a nice little bout of the big boys. Hey, that'll be nice. So we'll see. I think a lot of people are saying that Dana is upset that Khabib isn't fighting anymore. And while Khabib is a great competitor, a great athlete, is just nothing can excite him anymore. He's just too dominant, and unless somebody comes up that can make Khabib even give Khabib a shadow of doubt in his mind that, wow, maybe this guy could take me, that he's not coming back. And I think maybe there's maybe a 5-year window for this to happen, and if it doesn't happen, then it's done. Like, fighting is a very cutthroat thing that even if, say, Khabib takes this time off, and I assume he will be training, he will be in shape, but I mean, if you're not getting in these fights, it's a whole different animal. But then again, people aren't really putting up too much of a competition against him, so maybe it will be like much of the same. I don't know, but will be interesting to see over the course of this year. There's a pretty big shakeup going on in the UFC, and I was actually interested in Chandler and seeing him rise up the ranks of Bellator. I never really paid too much attention to Bellator before, but now maybe, like, there's a guy who just comes in and just wallops fucking Dan Hooker, despite, like, Hooker having, like, the clear size advantage. Like, whoa, where did this come from? But, Chandler's talking a lot too. He's calling out more people than 50 Cent did in How to Rob after his victory against Dan Hooker. So this could come all down crashing back to earth very quickly. But for the time being, I'm interested to see what his next matchup would be. Also very interested to see Izzy versus Blankowitz, and Izzy moving up a weight class and seeing how he can handle that, because nobody was more dominant in the weight class as him, and if he can get those belts, man, That's that will be wild. But with football just winding down, football's kind of my main squeeze. It's been awesome to. I really got into MMA over 2020 when it was the only thing on. Shout out to Dana White and being the first to kind of put his neck on the line for making that happen and using his funds to create the Fight Island to make these fights happen. And it worked. Ever since then, I have really gotten into fighting. And before wasn't much my cup of tea, but I think UFC over the past couple decades has really developed a really solid product, and it's been great to be able to watch these fights over the past little while and see these fighters and all these guys, putting their hearts, putting their necks on the line for the sport. And it's good to be able to pivot to something in the off season for football, because football's my main thing.